Welcome to another episode from our show, Anything Goes. When you speak to guys and girls who are in college and graduates, you feel there is a bigger gap in the conception or the understanding of each gender to the other. Like you talk to a boy about a girl, and you find he has a completely no clue how is she thinking. And you talk to a girl, and she also misconceived what her brother or possibly fiancé in the future is thinking. This difficult topic will be discussed today among my friends here that you have probably seen before. I have Mark, Michael, Caroline, and Marina. So I'm going to start with girls first and then come back to boys. So let me start with Caroline. What are the misconceptions, in your opinion, that guys have about girls?
Okay.
Do you understand the question?
I do understand it.
Can you put the question in your own words? Because I don't want any misconception about the question.
What do guys think about girls that's not true?
Okay.
There's a lot of answers for this, and I don't speak for every single girl in the world, but I think a lot of guys always think that once they meet one girl or two girls that are the same, they'll think that every girl is like that. Or once they realize, like, oh, I know Marina likes when I do this, then he's going to think every girl likes that. So they need to realize that a lot of girls are different, and they all like different things, and they all react to different situations. Like, I have, like, people asking, like, guys asking me, oh, I really want to do this for this so-and-so, and they go, what would you do? Or what would your reaction be? And I'm like, my reaction would be this, but at the same time, you don't know what that girl's reaction would be because I'm not her. Like,
I see. Marina, same question.
I think that this is a completely different point where she's going, and I do agree with her, but...
I don't want you to say the same point.
Okay. I think the guys sometimes just look at, I mean, we've mentioned this, look to what's on the outside and don't think that on the inside really matters or that it should matter. So as long as, you know, she's pretty and everything, that...
So they may either are rejecting the outside and they don't even try to know the inside, or the reverse. They are attracted without knowing that there is much inside.
Yeah.
So those are two, maybe there are more, but two misconceptions guys have about girls. What are the misconceptions girls have about you guys?
There's a few.
Michael.
There's a few.
Tell me about 20.
All right, so listen. They all think we're immature.
yes, the number though. Okay.
They all think they're arrogant or cocky.
You. They
Guys,
think you
they
guys.
think the guys, yeah. This doesn't, by the way, this doesn't apply to all guys at all times.
No, remember, this may not apply to any guy. This is in their heads so far,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It may or may not be true. So you mentioned immature, boasting or cocky. What else?
Lack of self-control.
They think of boys, they have no control.
Relating to immaturity.
That's same thing, right?
About the same thing.
Okay. Anything else? You seem like you're taking the whole show today, but but that's fine. I mean,
I'm just mentioning.
you have real hard time with girls, but that's fine. What about you, Mark?
I first want to say Mikey's a real ladies' man, so I mean he's a good guy. As far as misconceptions, actually the one I had in mind, I don't want to say it goes against Marina's points, but I mean, well, I have to support our guys
It's
outside,
okay, I
so
understand.
we're still friends, Marina. But as far as misconceptions, you know, Marina did mention looks, and we did have a past episode on looks. And I think the misconception that girls have about guys is that, you know, looks, our episode was looks, do they matter? I think for girls, sometimes they think that it's the only thing that matters with us, or that it matters way too much. And I mean, I can speak for myself where, you know, there were some girls where when I knew them more, you know, obviously the looks, you know, it did begin the initial attraction. But when I knew them more, I felt, you know, either, wow, now that I know them more, I like them even more, or now that I know them more, you know, I'm not so sure. So I think the misconception there is, yeah, we are more visually driven than women are, I guess, as far as biology is concerned. I mean, you're the doctor, so you know better than me. But I think the looks misconception.
Okay. You have more? What either side, misconceptions that the other gender has towards this gender? Any other misconceptions? How about, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to
No,
cut
no,
it.
please, I didn't have anything to say.
I think the guys think we're over emotional.
And you're not.
Well,
I'm not
okay.
talking about you, but
Personally, I am emotional. We
So-
are emotional, but they kind of have to put themselves in our shoes and like see what we have to go through in a certain situation.
very hard to have a man in your shoes, by the way. But that's fine.
I understand.
So you are saying that men think girls are too emotional.
Or they exaggerate things when they really shouldn't.
Okay. So over-exaggeration. I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. You agree that we think of them this way, or okay?
We do.
Okay.
I definitely think girls are over dramatic and over emotional.
Are you guys over dramatic? I mean, this drama queen that this term came about.
When I was younger, I was definitely more emotional, but as in general for girls, when we're younger, we're definitely more emotional because we act on our emotions. We don't have that reason and logic. But as we get older, now that I'm like 5, 6 years older, when I see something that I could have seen when I was 15, 14, my reaction to it has definitely changed. So I think the emotional part of it is when we're younger, that we get less like over emotional and dramatic as we grow up. Some girls don't grow out of it, I guess, but most people and most girls in general will get less dramatic as they mature.
Plus, I think that aren't we supposed to be the emotional ones, the ones that actually have a heart?
Yeah, we're not talking about the normal emotions,
the exaggeration.
but really the overdoing thing.
What are the misconceptions boys have against girls?
Probably that girls have against guys, or that guys have against girls.
Boys have against girls.
Boys have against girls is probably that that they're all the same, and like all the girls act the same, and like you just try to get with one of them and then get out, go to another one. So that's probably it.
I think boys think that girls are stupid and they'll fall for anything, and that's not entirely true. Girls are sensitive, but they're not stupid.
Boys feel like they can be so ashamed of speaking to girls, or they feel like, you know, any relationship that they get into with a girl might lead to more than just a pure platonic relationship. And I feel like maybe the opposite with girls, that they feel like a lot of times that they could get into a relationship with a boy and it could be purely platonic, and they don't realize that in the back of their mind there might be something else. So this is a major misconception, I think.
I think some misconceptions boys have against girls are that they have no self-respect. That's not true, they do.
Misconceptions about girls, again, just superficiality. I think both sexes kind of don't give each other credit in terms of like how developed they can be, like mentally, spiritually. But yeah, it's always, yeah.
I think guys think sometimes girls are so uptight that they're just not fun to hang around, and that's not true. Girls could get loose sometimes too. It goes both ways.
Guys always think that girls, all they do is gossip and talk about shoes and shop on all the time. When there's a lot more to each group of people that we could learn about each other.
On the other hand, do you think boys are emotionless? Or are you guys thinking of boys this way?
Yes.
That they are really blunted feelings? No, you said yes twice and she sort of doesn't know what she wants to say.
I mean, from most of the guys that I've met, including my own brother, there's no emotion
feelings
there whatsoever. I mean, I understand they don't show it, I guess. They just keep it in, and no reason to cry, no reason to like show it, but it's still there. I understand that.
Is this a macho thing about guys, or you think this is correct, or this is actually, we feel that this is a sign of weakness? Is this true? I mean, are they thinking of us true? We are expressionless, maybe? Is that a better word for lack of feelings? Because I'm sure your brother has feelings, right?
Sure.
We haven't come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and it's interesting because that's part of both the American and the Egyptian culture. I mean, I can't really speak on other cultures, but those two, there is sort of a mentality that the men should be macho, they should be emotionless. I mean, I know from my own experience, even seeing, you know, other young men in our church, in our community, where it's not really encouraged to, I guess, to cry or to feel upset over certain things. The phrase is to man up or to khalik ragil, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know, it's not as encouraged. I think it should be. I mean, you shouldn't be a crybaby at the same time. For me personally, I think of our Lord Jesus Christ. He showed the whole range of emotions, you know, from weeping when Lazarus died, when he was angry, when he cleared out the temple. So that's what I like to think of, that men, I mean, there is no greater man than our Lord. So I think it should be encouraged within reason. You can't be a completely emotionless cucumber, but at the same time, you can't be a crybaby like a wimp at the same time.
They do say real men cry. Right?
Real men cry. Is that real sentence? You read it somewhere?
It's a phrase.
Yeah. Okay, what other misconceptions?
I think a misconception is that girls only want this type of guy. Like they say some girls want like a domineering guy because they don't have a backbone themselves, or some girls want to have the upper, like they always joke around and want to wear pants. Yeah, I think that's completely not true. I think what a healthy thing is, and what in the long run, when you grow up, and what you really are looking for in the long run is something that's balanced. Like I know now most girls, like at least I know for me personally, I want someone that I can argue with, but someone that will give and take.
But the misconception that you think boys have for girls,
that they think that we want them to be macho,
more dominating, and you guys,
and we just sit back and we do nothing.
So the very, very submissive character that's speechless all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't completely disagree, but I would want a guy who would.
I think we want
support me and like be the macho, you know, backbone.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't have any say, but I still want him to somewhat lead.
That's what I mean. It needs to be in moderation.
What are the misconceptions girls have against boys?
I think girls think that every boy is just out to, you know, get it. Yeah, get it, I guess. Boys are just out to get it from girls. And some, you know, we're not. We're not, like, completely thinking about sex all the time. You know, sometimes guys do kind of want something nice from a girl. Yeah, guys don't always want to just get it. Sometimes, you know, we really do want to talk. We have emotions. We're not just, like, cold all the time, and we're not just after, you know, getting it.
That they think that all the guys are alike. They're all the same, but like you might have a friendship with another guy, and like he just wants to like get it over with and like on to the next one. But some guys actually like talking to girls, sitting down with them, and like having a good conversation with them.
I think the misconception that girls have against boys are that, you know, we're all out to be players and have mad girls and all this stuff. I don't think it's like that, and at least for me and like a bunch of people like around me, we're not like that.
I don't know, maybe all they care about is all they care about is girls.
I think, I don't know, again, this is what I've experienced in my life. I think girls automatically think that guys have a one-track mind and that they're very immature and like they have no substance about them. And that they're just into sports and all that. But meanwhile, I know tons of guys that are they're very well-rounded guys who are interested in so many things that are like relatively deep in terms of what they think about.
I think girls a lot of the time think guys are immature and really not like smart or like they don't have like that maturity to them, but that's not true. Guys can be mature if they want to.
Well, girls definitely think guys are always immature. They're 5-year-old children forever and they never grow up.
Do you see men sometimes are very letting go to make them very pleased to the extent they lose their identity as manhood, or how do you really entitle this part?
I do see two extremes, definitely, to that point. The first being the old-fashioned extreme, where some men say it's my way or the highway. Like, I have 100% say. I'm the man. Sorry, you have no say. That's the one extreme. The other extreme being, you know what, fine. Well, like, whatever. I actually heard this on the radio. They said the biggest word, this is on the K-Love radio, contemporary music radio station. They said the biggest word that kind of ruins relationships is the word whatever. Where, did you hear that one?
I heard that.
You heard that, right?
Where
Or
it
I
is
don't
said
care,
by
right?
both either gender, right?
Well, it usually, one starts, they ask the question or they present, something to the other person, and the other person responds with, whatever, I don't care. And the whole, point being that you really learn nothing about that person when you say whatever. There's no give and take, as Caroline mentioned, and no progress is made.
One of the misconceptions that I would like to ask girls first, that men are sexual beings and they think with their hormones, not with their head. Is that a misconception when you guys sit together, girls together? Is that how you perceive boys?
I think we do perceive them like that just because usually when we are sitting in that type of setting and stuff, we are younger. Like, we are in high school or beginning of college and we're talking about, oh, this guy did this to me. And like, usually the answer the girl gives is like, oh, guys usually don't think with their heads right now. Like, don't get involved in anything because right now they're not mature enough. There comes that thing, the maturity. Right now they're not mature enough, so usually they do think with...
So you think there is a time that men actually think maturely enough that they are not as sexual being as women perceive them?
They are still sexual beings, yes, but they think more clearly now. They understand that that's not the first thing.
Okay. You have a different saying?
I agree. I also want to say it just depends on the guy.
Okay.
But I agree.
Do you guys think that women are, we perceive them in the sexual realm as in the receiving end, that they don't have any feelings about this?
Could you elaborate? Feelings about what?
Okay, in other words, when I asked them what is the misconception about boys as sexual beings, they said yes, we think of boys this way. Yeah. What do you guys think of them, of yourselves?
That's not how it is. Like, they think of us like that, but that's obviously at a point our hormones are aging, and like I'll have to agree that sometimes we don't think, but that's because
your hormones are
our hormones are aging. When we're younger, things happen to be where just things are what they are, and sometimes it's not right. But as we grow older, we want to talk to them and like develop a relationship and just talk with and make talk and debate and just talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yes, we are sexual. Well, we're all sexual beings. I think, more so. And as Caroline mentioned, like in high school, like the whole puberty phase, it's almost, I don't want to say out of our controls, but it's sort of such a huge growth process and, time of change for us that, we're not mature. Even past that stage at like college and beyond, it's still something where, it takes a lot of maturity, both, spiritually, mentally, even physically, to sort of, I don't want to say just control, but to sort of, to be mature about it and to understand. Because there are men, again, I have a psychology degree, but there are men in their 30s, 40s, even 50s, women too, who are out of control sexually, and they just, that's all they think about, and that's really what controls them. It's like an idol in their life.
Any other final thoughts? Misconceptions?
I think the reason that we, girls in general, say that guys are very sexual beings is kind of also because a lot of us have seen girls that do fall into that way of life and do fall into stuff like that, and we see how like torn up they get and how like confusing it turns their life. So I think a lot of us say that also as like an extra precaution,
Yeah.
kind of like.
I see. Stay away from.
Yeah.
We had a great discussion. I just want to, in the next few minutes, maybe each one of you could comment on what are or what is, if you think it's only one thing, the most important thing that you wish the other gender would know about you. So I started with you, so let me end with you. What are the most important, say, 2 or 3 things that you wish boys know about you?
I think it's important to know that we're all different. I think it's important to know that we grow over time. So me at 15 is different than me now at 20, almost 21. I think those are very 2 good examples.
Okay, I'll go here first.
Sure.
Mark, what is the most important thing you wish girls know about you? And try not to say what you have said before.
Sure. The biggest thing that came to my mind, I think girls feel that, we don't care about them or mistreat them. I think, not just for me, but I think for all guys, not even most, I think all of them. I think we care about them. We think about them a lot, and not like in the ways that they think, like the weird, perverted way. But at least for me at this age, it's like a real like driving factor in my life. Like when I think of a future family and future, wife and kids, things like that. Like aligning my character and sort of my career and the way I conduct myself. I think whoever that girl is going to be in the future, that's kind of, and I think even though maybe some of them don't express themselves, maybe it's not their style or our feelings. We don't say that it's really important to us, or we let on that it's important, but it really, really is.
Okay, Marina. What you wish boys know about you that you think they are misperceiving?
I feel like this just sums up what we've been talking about the whole session. But I do agree with what Carlene said, that we're all different and that there is more to girls than just their appearance, I guess.
So the looks.
Yeah.
The inside.
There's more to the inside.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm going to say we're not emotionless. We have emotions and we do care about certain things. We just don't show it as much. Don't perceive us, don't think of us differently. And we do have self-control and we could discipline ourselves in a way that is acceptable.
That's nice. I like that. So this is I like that. I mean, personally as a man, I think these are things I wish women or ladies or girls know about men, that they are not exactly without control. They have emotions, although they may not express it as the way girls express. That's very true. Very good. Any other thoughts? Any other correction of misconception? One of the things I think the church puts an icon is that we have an icon of a family, that our Lord is the man of the house, Saint Mary next to him, and then you see all the children, the saints, almost sitting underneath them. And it's almost complete the picture, that there is a sort of the puzzle, all the pieces get together. But the important thing that sometimes we have a misconception about the other person because of one guy or one girl, and I assume everybody is the same. And that's where I think a program like this could correct. That not because I'm hurt because of this man, all men are the same, and the same vice versa. So, not that I don't want girls or boys to be not careful, but I want them also to be optimistic, that not because of a guy's fault, all the guys are bad, not because of a girl's wrong behavior or wrong personality, all women or ladies are grouped in the same. This was another episode from our show, Anything Goes. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions or remarks, please send them to me at the email that you have seen in the screen. And until next time, have a blessed time and thank you.